Joining me tonight is a WWF/WWE employee of over 3 decades, one of the greatest refs of all time, Mike Chioda. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, no problem, Mikey. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
It's great to see. I tell you, I must have aged 50 years in the last 20 since I
no,
seen you, and you look exactly the same.
no, I don't feel the same, man. But yeah, I'm hanging in there, brother. You look good too, man. Hey,
Awesome.
just trying to hang out, just trying to hang in there. That's it.
When I did TV, I was 18, 19, 20, 21, and you
Wow.
were always
Remember that?
super cool. So
Wow.
I always tell some of the guys that come on that I ran into back in the TV days that were cool. Sometimes just a smiling face to a job
Right.
guy is all you need to get through the day. So I thank you for always being so cool.
No, it's all good, brother. It's all good, man. Hey, I worked with a lot of extras and stuff like that. I know you called them job guys back then, but extras were just important. I mean, there was a time in the 80s and 90s, Mike, when that's all we did on TVs was pretty much, like squash matches, and extras were so fucking important. I mean, that's what got the guys over back in the day. They
Right.
don't do that stuff no more, really. So, it's,
And
I,
good matches.
I think they need to bring back some of that stuff, some of them
Yeah.
quick matches, and, where, guy just gets over instead of using a certain talent to get over, and all this other stuff. And then you draw out your, the way they do angles now in the pay-per-views and all that. You don't have too much time to build an angle, and sometimes you're using the guys like certain guys that don't deserve to get beat. You're using them to beat them guys. That's why I think the way we used to do it in the 80s and 90s really put the wrestlers over, though. You guys were a big part back then, brother.
You know when I fell in love with wrestling? In 1986, when Randy Savage hit
Mm-hmm.
Steamboat with the bell across the
Right,
throat.
right,
And they didn't touch on TV
right,
for 9 months.
right,
So when WrestleMania came, I have the calendar out and I'm
right.
Xing the days down for
Yep,
Steamboat to finally get his revenge. If it was nowadays, they would have had 9 matches before WrestleMania. They would
right.
have been in tag matches, and it's just, yeah, they
Yeah,
don't build it up like
there
they
was a
used to.
point. Yeah, there was a point. A time when Rock and Stone Cold met, and they didn't touch for like a year. And then Philadelphia came around. We did we had WrestleMania there, man. I had the first 10 minutes of that match. I remember I had to take a chair shot, and Stone Cold said, "Kid," he goes, I got to bring a chair across your head, And I was like, man, you just bring it, Steve. Don't worry about it. He's like, man, it might be stiff. I said, brother, hey, what am I going to do? I got one bump to take. What am I going to do? Bitch about all the bumps you take, all the chair shots you take. This is WrestleMania, Philadelphia. I'm from South Jersey, Jersey boy, born in North Jersey, raised up in South Jersey. So I'm like, yeah, this is my hometown. Bring that. And he brought that son of a bitch, man. My head rang for like 3 days.
Where you from? I'm in Howell.
I was born in Bayonne,
Okay.
New Jersey,
Yeah.
and got a lot of family still up in Northeast there. And in 1974, I was about 8 years old. We moved up to Willingboro, New Jersey, near Mount Laurel, Cherry Hill.
Sure.
So we moved up in that area. That's where I grew up with Joey Morella and Gorilla Monsoon in Willingboro.
So talk to me about that. You used to set up rings for Gorilla, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
That that was your foot in? Talk to me about
Yeah,
Gorilla.
that was my foot in, man. I mean, I always wanted to play baseball, and I was a hell of a baseball player, hell of a stick, hell of a shortstop. I was about 15, 16. I'd go in the summer times, and Gorilla owned a ring from Vince Sr. at that time. And Vince Sr. owned everything, and he owned the territory. Like there was Sammartino and certain guys that owned, the Pittsburgh and the what, like Northwest over there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then Gorilla owned he did the territories like Philadelphia Spectrum, Salisbury, Maryland, Wildwood, New Jersey, and all the little towns around this, kind of like the northeast, south of Jersey, a little bit of south, further south. So Victor Chionis used to run the ring, and I used to work the ring crew on the weekends. Joey Morelli set the ring up back then, and he was reffing even back then and stuff. So, and then, I was, I mean, you set up the ring, taking robes, playing music, timekeeping. You were getting paid $50 for each gig. Each thing you did, that's $200. And then Victor one day he's like, hey, Chioda, you got to sell programs. And I'm like, fucking programs. It's like out in the boardwalk about Andre the Giant's on the cover. They're $1 a piece. And I'm like, how much am I gonna make off of fucking programs? Like, holy shit, I gotta sell pro. He's like 10 cents off the dollar. And I'd go out and sell like 3,000 programs at the Spectrum on the boardwalk in Wildwood when the convention center only held like 1,200 people. on a Monday night, and it was like, and I'd sell 3,000 programs, because the boardwalk
How
was
old were
packed.
you?
16, 15, 16. I had 4 cars by the time I was 17, bro. I had a 71
Wow.
Mustang Fastback. I had bought a
Hell
78
yeah.
Firebird Formula, 79 Z28. What else did I have? A Datsun 280Z. I had all the toys, bro. And my dad was like, "Where the fuck are you making this? Where are you making all this money?" I said, "I'm making Gorilla Monsoon, Dad. I'm working for Gorilla." When I'd sell 3,000 programs, that was $300. So on top of the 200 that I got paid for all the other shit, because I'd do the programs before the show, intermission real quick, and then I do a little bit on the blowout, on the end, and then hurry up, tear down the ring and shit like that. So it was like, and then work the music, take the robes during the show. And that was before I started refereeing in '87. Chief J Strongbow and Gorilla made me a referee. And what happened was I left there. I was a machinist for a while in school. Then I did machinery, building test missiles for the Navy, did that when I was 17 in school, getting out on the DECA program at, like noon. You'd work till 1 to 9 at night. So I worked in the machine shop for almost a couple of years, and my dad took a stroke. And then I asked Gorilla and Joey back for a job because I knew how much good money I was making, you know. And I knew baseball was out of the question at that time. So, I went back to wrestling and started when I was like 18, 19 and went full time, So I went full time in like 85, 86. And then broke into refereeing in '87. My debut on TV was '89. And that was all because of Chief J Strombo and Gorilla Monsoon, started me to referee. So I was awesome.
For someone who's
Took
not in
off
the
from there.
business, they might not understand how important a good ref is to a match. So
Right.
who taught you how to be a ref? Like who actually
Man.
smartened you up?
Well, Joey helped me out tremendously. Of course, even when Earl came in, he helped me out tremendously. Joey's been passed for quite some years now, but Joey helped me out. And it was all the agents and the old school guys like Georgie Animal Steel and like Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz and Steve Lombardi were my first match I did, and just if the talent liked you, man, they helped you out a lot. If you were respectful and and I was respected for what these guys did. Every one of them just in the '80s and '90s, man. It's like their characters were just them. It was just fucking awesome. It was like they didn't have to get trained. It seemed like trained and taught like the kids do these days, in the PC centers and all that, man. It's just like these guys had it, and they always had flamboyant gear or different gear or just some kind of character where they had a gear, it wasn't just short hair, good looking guys. For a while the business got like that. It was all guys with short hair, great bodies, just trunks. And it was just, it was like that for quite a ways. It's changed a little bit now, though.
Any other responsibilities when you were a ref besides refing?
Oh yeah, I was ring crew. I did ring crew. When I went to refereeing in '87, I was still doing crew. I did crew for 23 years, 20 something years. So I did crew and refereeing at the same time. And it was always like Tony Chimmel was the ring announcer. Me and him were the main ring crew in South Jersey. When Vince took over everything, we became one of the main ring crews in the Northeast. I mean, we went everywhere. So because we were a one-stop shop with our crew. So like when let's see, Abe Lincoln was running the event operations. Then it was Terry Garvin, and Terry Garvin, we were his number one crew because we both drove the trucks. Tony Chimmel ring announced. He was ring announcer. I was the referee. So we had, it was just one stop shop crew, and we always got the job done. Never missed a shot. Never missed one fucking shot on the ring crew. Never, unless the show got canceled for weather or something like that. But yeah, it did crew all the way up to like, I want to say like 2005 or so, something like that. 2005, 2007 or 8, something like that, and then just became full time ref.